do you think today's gonna go?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
I have questions on questions on questions.
Whoa, look at this. I have like
Yes.
5 questions.
I have
You
so
have a
many,
lot.
man.
Did you do research?
Did some research. I watched a couple of previous interviews that he did. I didn't know he had his own show.
Yes,
Knock Knock
Knock
Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah, I watched one of them today. One of them was close to where I used to live. It was in a Mason temple, the Scottish Rite in Hamilton.
Oh, no way.
It's actually a really good show. It's funny in the beginning, like the hosts are funny, and then the three of them together got a good chemistry because it gets like it makes it light, but at the same time when it gets a little heavy and scary, it's pretty heavy and scary.
Yeah, because I think that show was like what, 5 years ago,
Something like that, yeah.
around there. Yeah, so he actually asked me to be on the show, but I don't know why it never happened. But he was like, "Oh, I think it'd be funny if you just come on the show and like get scared."
Yeah, because one of the other co-hosts is an actor, Bree Doyle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
The dynamic, it's a good dynamic. It's good, the three of them.
Okay. Well, this is good. This is a BFF episode number 44.
44.
This is
it's a big one.
Very big, very huge, very huge. Very big huge. Episode. Different episode. This week we are on time. We have a set schedule here because today we have a guest.
Yes, and does our guest have a time crunch? Like they need to be out by a hard, 6 o'clock or anything like that. I've seen a lot of his a lot of the podcasts that he does, only because I feel like there's a lot of questions that people have. They usually run about an hour and a half or, something like that.
Well, he was very flexible. He said, I was like, when are you free? Like when are you free to record? He's like, I'll make myself available.
Yeah, like, he's got a calming sense to him as well.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very charming man.
Yeah.
So check this out. So we were talking last week. So he was one of the 2 that asked to be on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if you ever watched a podcast or listened to a podcast, because we normally don't have guests. So normally people don't ask to be on if there's it's just But he did reach out, and check this out. He this is what he wrote to me last night. He goes, "By the way, I felt something you posted, and now, in quotations, your dad really gets you." And I was like, "What?" And then I'm like, we have to have you on ASAP.
Yeah.
Can you record tomorrow? He's like, "Yeah, man. What time?" And I'm like, 5 o'clock. He's like, "Let's do it." So he's coming on in about 10 minutes. So I don't know if maybe he comes early, We'll see.
It's fine. It's fine.
But did you get the invite?
I did get the invite. You sent it initially to an email address that is no longer in existence because I forgot the password.
Mm. Okay. No, because this is the first time I've ever, because usually when we do these, I just open up a window and then I invite you and then that's it. Right. But this is a very professional, this week is a very professional Zoom meeting.
There is a meeting ID.
I set up. I set it up. I've never done this before. So I set up a meeting ID, invited these participants. Because Jim's like, "Yeah, just send me the invitation." I was like, "Invitation?
Like in the mail?"
Yeah. So I sent it to you. And I was like, I don't even know if you're available. I was like, "But I want to know about what did he mean by your dad really gets you?"
Yeah, I had to move some things around, only because typically I like to wait till everyone's out of the building before recording, just because background noise just might look weird. But when you said 5 o'clock, I was like, okay, I might be able to swing that. And when you said 4:45, I said that's gonna be. So I went to the offsite location, which is just down the street. That's why it's a different background today.
Oh,
More
you're.
natural light.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't mind this. This is nice.
Yeah, soft.
There's actually a way where, because I want if I get a green screen, we can be in those things. I'll show it to you.
Oh, like the.
That'd be pretty cool, right?
See, I look like I'm in the seat, but like you've got a circle around you.
Yeah, because you actually have like a white background. Because mine's like all different
Right.
colors.
Gotcha,
So-
gotcha.
So Zoom doesn't know.
I see. I like this. Pretty cool. But
Are
what
you
happens
here?
when you
Are
get
you
a third?
here? Are you on the left?
Yeah, I'm on the left. I'm in the seat. I look like I'm actually in a. This looks proper. I have no circle around me. For those of you listening, we're trying a different background. Makes it kind of look cool, a little, hipsterish.
This is very. This feels very modern. Yet this technology has been around for years.
We just haven't taken advantage of it, or we don't know anything about it.
No. But this would be pretty cool. You're like, hey, Kev.
Hey, Ernst.
No, I'm the other way. Yeah, there.
Yes.
See?
Hey, Ernst. Yeah, there you go. It's
No.
backwards. I forgot. Yeah. Hey, man. What's going on? Hey, high five.
If you're listening on the podcast, please
Oh.
watch us on YouTube. We have
And Jim, if you're listening to this and you can hear this, you still have time to back out.
no, Jim. We prepared for 24 hours for this moment. So
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, it's our first guest, episode 44, first guest. It's big. It's huge.
okay. Then we're back to normal.
Back to normal. There we go.
We'll see how it looks. Let me check something out here. How was your week, Evan? How was your weekend?
It was good. We went. Caitlin and I went downtown again for work stuff, and it was just us. And I realized something. I realized that I don't hate driving downtown or going downtown if I don't drive.
Oh, she drove.
She drove, and I had a wonderful experience.
Oh, really?
I didn't have to worry about merging into traffic or the lanes getting too tight, pedestrians crossing the street. I just sat back and enjoyed the ride.
Is it rare that you're not driving?
Oh, like when we're all together, kind of thing.
Yeah. Or you
No.
always the driver?
No. Caitlin, it's a mix. Caitlin mostly drives when we're all together, only because she knows I drive every day, right?
Yeah. So when you're sitting shotgun, do you do what I do, or like when they're changing lanes, I actually check the blind spot?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do that. Some people take that as a sign of disrespect.
That's what I think so.
As if what? You don't think I saw the
Yeah.
blind spot? You have to
Yeah.
check for me, kind of thing.
I know. Yeah, we were doing the show in Kitchener a few weeks ago, and then I was the scrub. I was sitting shotgun, and then I was checking the blind spots, and the driver was like, I think he was being facetious or sarcastic, whatever. He was like, "Oh, thanks for checking the blind spots for me." So I don't know if he meant it like, "Thank you," really, but
He probably didn't. He probably thought, "Oh, you don't trust me?"
yeah. You know what's weird? So because a lot of comics, they don't drive, right? A lot of them live downtown.
No need
No
to,
cars.
right?
Yeah, don't need to if you live downtown. So a bunch of them live downtown. But I remember I was driving to a show up north. It's like way past what's that? That 400 north.
Yeah.
What's that last? Keswick, past Keswick,
Okay.
way up north. It's like an hour north. And then I was driving this guy, and then I think he barely goes in cars, right? So he was getting freaked out because we're going on the highway, and
Was
we're
he
going
holding the oh shit bar thing?
he was very scared. Like we actually saw a deer like pass by, and then he was freaking out. But then looking back now, I'm like, oh my god, that's so dangerous. Like it ran right across us.
Oh, like it wasn't like on the side of the road where it was grazing or whatever it is.
It was like in the middle of the night. Well, not middle of the night, but it was like
dark.
like 9 p.m.
Ooh.
Because I've heard stories where like deer just run and hit your car.
Yeah, they'll mess it up pretty bad.
Yeah, like do they get hurt or?
I'm sure they get hurt, but I think your car gets pretty much totaled.
Yeah. Especially like driving to like Palmerston
Mhm.
in the middle of the night. Yeah, you see those like signs and like I get scared sometimes.
Where the casino is it's all like kind of rural roads.
Very rural, very rural roads.
But yeah,
Yeah, so
that was my weekend. What did you do?
I watched Thor.
Oh yeah, you
Thor
watched
4.
Thor on Thursday.
Thursday,
Right.
last
Yeah.
Thursday.
Last Thursday. Yeah. Is it good? As good as everyone says it is?
You know what? I love this movie so much. Like I went with like 3 comics, and like
Yeah.
we were laughing so loud. Oh, I was laughing very loud, very anti camp me. This
Was
year
it funnier than Ragnarok? Because
very
that
so much
was
funnier than Ragnarok.
Really?
I love this movie. So check this out. We were watching it VIP. That's how we do.
Of course.
Right?
Of
So
course.
very comfortable seats. So the guy next to me, he's not that far, but it's not like a, you know what I mean? Have you been to VIP?
No. Arms length kind of thing?
Yeah. So it's not like you're touching anymore. There's like you're kind of like in a love seat.
Yeah.
And then so the next couple is like right beside. I mean, not as close. I don't know how to describe this.
Gotcha. I'm picturing.
But there's like an armrest in between. Okay, so I'm laughing. I'm going crazy. I'm like, I love everything. I'm laughing at this movie, and the guy, I can feel the guy look at me because he was. Check this out. This guy's not laughing at all. I can't hear. I'm not thinking he's like a quiet, like those nose laughers. I can't. You know what I mean? I'm going crazy. I'm like, because like we're all comics, right? I'm hitting the other guys. I'm like, did you say that? I'm like that annoying guy. Did you say that? And they're like, yeah, we saw it. Don't worry, we're right here. So I can feel him like being like, oh, relax. Like it's not that funny, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought he was gonna be upset. Like after the movie, I thought he was gonna be like, you guys laughed too much, you know. But he was like cool. He just walked away. But imagine he's like, you guys laughed too much laughter.
What if that is his laugh though? What if he's just a quiet laugher? Have you heard him laugh?
No, like he was just like very quiet. It's very, you know what I mean? Like I could, because like me and my friends, they were like going crazy, like yeah, right? But then this guy was like, very cordial, like he was like sitting there, you know.
He's like,
So-
guys, a little decorum, please.
Yeah, so maybe you know, so there are people like that, especially like in at comedy shows.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here we go. I'm so excited. Our first guest.
Our first guest.
He's just logging in here. But Kev, as I was saying, there are people out there that do that. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, man.
Jim Hunt.
Our
Ladies
first
and
guest.
gentlemen. Oh,
Our first
Oh,
guest.
thank you. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Jim.
I-
Thank you for
I
taking.
listen.
Sorry?
I listen. I like you guys. I listen.
Really?
thanks.
Oh, we were just saying how we don't think. Kevin was saying this.
No.
Kevin,
Kevin-
stop.
Yeah, Kevin was like, I don't think Jim has listened to a single episode because he knows that we do not have guests.
Listen. Because I know you well, Ernie, in
Yes.
so many different ways, and with Jill, and you were so nice with Jill, and invited her and made her feel comfortable. It was always an honor to watch you up on stage because you were so good at your craft and so gentle with people. So you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Yes. For those of you who do not know, Jim's wife, Jill, very funny comedian who I met a long time ago.
It's going on 10 years, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've met Jim like 10 years ago?
Uh,
2012?
2000, yeah, it would be.
That's when Jill started?
2012, she had just finished Second City. So, and she did the thing at Absolute. and she got invited back to Absolute
Yes.
because of her comedy, and I think
Mhm.
you were there that night.
Oh, really?
That's my memory. So,
It was
you
so
know,
long ago that like anything before the pandemic, I have no idea.
well, just, I'm a stoner, so I'll forget tomorrow. Right?
That's why you're high.
Yeah,
That's what
you
you're like.
see,
I want
that's what I'm like. Yeah, well,
to be
I,
on this
Uh,
podcast.
I think she's, I think she's gonna come back though. Our little girl's 5 now, so I
She's
think
so
she's.
cute.
Thank you, thank you. She's
She's
all
5
mom.
now?
She's 5.5.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah. So she took a break, and I think she's gonna get back into the swing of things, and I think it's gonna be awesome. I do
Yes.
anyway. I'm one of her all-time fans, so it'll work.
Yes, I would see Jim at every show that Jill was on. And here's how I actually met Jim, or remember Jim, because we've met a few times before,
We did, yes.
but we never really talked. And
No.
I don't know if you know the story, but or you remember the story. We were doing this show at the Amsterdam Bicycle Club
That's right.
in Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that now, but it's called
No.
something else. But we were doing this show. It was a Tuesday night, and it was a competition. And I forgot what year this was, 2014. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
So we were doing this competition. So I'm nervous because I'm like, I want to win this competition, and and I'm against Jill. I'm against your wife.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So I'm cursing all the competitors,
Of course.
and I'm all nervous there. And then Jim, right before the show, we started talking, and then I don't know how, but you started saying how you were a psychic.
Yeah.
And back then, I was very ignorant to the idea of like
What that was.
Yeah, what that was. Like it was before like I started like meditating and doing acid and stuff. So
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I remember you're like, yeah, I'm a psychic, and like I see ghosts, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, this is like I'm like right before the show, so I'm like freaked out. And
Was it
and
a
then
ploy?
so and then you're like almost like making me cry because I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? You know?
Yeah.
So we actually talked about this on the podcast like last year, how I
Oh,
met
wow.
you. Yeah.
Crazy.
hmm So yeah, why don't you tell the listeners what Jim Hunt, the life coach and psychic, does?
Oh, wow. Well, I've had this ability since I was 5 years old. So nothing's ever, I don't look at life any differently, because you always get these questions like, you see dead people. Well, I've seen dead people as long as I can remember, so I'm not afraid of the dead. Or you hear voices in your head and automatically put him in the nutty house because that's where he belongs, because he's hearing voices. And, in the 70s and 80s, that was a taboo thing. So you had to be very quiet on what you did. And
Right.
so I really kept quiet about what I was able to do until about the age of 30, to be honest with you. I
Okay.
did some stuff, but nothing to family and friends and, people that would appreciate me and not make fun of me every day. And, things came to fruition when I was at a truck stop in Kingston, and I watched this man on the phone getting dispatched for his next load. And I swear to you, it looked like he was going to die. There was no Grim Reaper around him or anything like that. Just the aura colors of what I saw. And I'm looking at this guy going, Jesus, I got to talk to this guy. I got to really let him know he should go to the hospital. And my wife then is looking at me and said, you're just going to get the shit beat out of you. And I'm going, maybe, but I want to make sure that this guy's okay. So he got off the phone. I said, hey, can I talk to you for a sec? And he looked at me and he was pissed off already about his dispatch or whatever, and just said, hey, dude, I really think you should go to the hospital. He looked at me and started swearing back and forth and get the F away from me, blah, 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 yelling at me. And I just said, hang on a second. Margaret told you and is telling me for you to go. He stopped dead in his tracks. Margaret was his mom, who had passed away from a heart attack 12 years ago.
Wow.
He went to Kingston Hospital. He took my business card, and he had triple bypass surgery at Kingston Hospital the same day.
What the heck?
That's amazing.
But that's the only time that has happened to me in that form. Everything else is, what everyone sees typically, right? Like the past, present, and future, those type of things, you know. And I told Ernie a few things in text yesterday that I think got him spooked a little
Yeah,
again.
yeah. That's why. That's why, because we usually record on Thursdays, but I'm like, I cannot wait until Thursday.
So I'm appreciative of this, and it's I don't know how to. I don't like talking about myself very much. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people's impressions of who I am, and people are afraid of me or don't want to talk to me, or they want to know something. It's human nature. You want to know about yourself, but then you hold back, right?
Right.
So you're just going, well, whatever. And I was saying, every time I see you guys or see something on Instagram, and I'm going, Ernie needs to know that his dad now understands him.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Finally gets him. Because your dad understood what you were doing, but didn't know the love of your craft. Didn't know that that was a job. Didn't know that it was something that you can relate to, that you're proud of.
Mm-hmm.
So he never really got to tell you that in his death or in his living, but he's telling it to you in his passing. And he watches out for you, and he's your first star. He pays attention to you all the time. And I know how fresh this is for you. And I know this is not live, but it's going to be. But Ernie, he loves you. He loves his family. You know he did. And he was that quiet guy, but he also had that temper that would come out of nowhere in a flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just always making sure that you make yourself laugh at the same time. That's all he said to me. And you don't have to air this, okay? I'm serious. And it's fresh. And I don't mean, I'm never here I'm not here for the attention. I'm here to give a message.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get paid to do, is to give a message. So it's important. And, when we try so hard to make our family see us for who we are, and we get chastised or ridiculed or feeling uncomfortable about our trade and our gift, and people don't like it or don't understand it or are afraid of it, we're always going to get that form of verbal or emotional abuse. You no longer have any of that, not just from your dad, but from anyone. So it's important for you to grow and to be yourself. And I think that's where the next 10 years of your life is going to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember you down there for a while. I'm shitty with names, so punish me. But Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin,
Yes.
I've seen you around. I just don't know at what point. I don't know if I've ever seen you on stage.
You wouldn't have seen me on stage for sure.
Okay.
It might have been maybe at a time where I'd come to watch Ernie's show, possibly, and maybe you were
that
there.
Could be it, because I don't forget a face. That's the part of me. But you're a success in your own right that you don't give yourself credit for. When you do readings for people, you annoy yourself. You don't sabotage, but you annoy yourself to try and be perfect at what you do. And you make fun of it or you jest about it.
That's funny that you say that.
But your grandfather on your father's side did the same thing. He used his intelligence and his wit and made light of everything, but was serious to get the job done. You don't get mad at us. You give us points of reference to say, you know what, maybe I should pull my pants up today, and maybe I should help you.
Right.
But you do it without us even thinking about it. We just follow you. But that's from your grandfather.
That's some crazy insight there, Jim. Wow. I'm taken aback. I'm at a loss for words.
But these are messages that we never would have heard. And my responsibility as a child to who I am as this old fart now is I got to give this information. Sorry. I'm still struggling with COVID, believe it or not, since April.
Oh, really?
The long COVID.
Long COVID is what it is. But the whole idea behind this is to be yourself, to understand who you are. We're not getting any younger. There's opportunities gloriously for all of us. But you have to sit down and take an inventory of the things that you've done. None of us in this room have ever made a mistake. We've only learned a lesson. We got to learn that. We got to change our words, know who we are, respect ourselves, and be the best that we can be. And I'm sorry about the noise in the background. I have a family, and I'm upstairs 2 floors, guys. That's how loud my house is.
That's fine. No.
But if you get it, you get who you are. And if you respect yourself, no matter how you look at it, then there's never any failure. None. So it's opening up doors that will happen. And that helps you guys move forward no matter what.
Huh.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
There's a sense of, I can't even describe it. It almost feels like a bit of a weight taken off. Not like there was a weight on there, but just that whole revelation. You just feel lighter. You just feel, I don't know what
it's, you know what it is? It's hard for people to comprehend sometimes, but if I'm relaying a message back to you that I'm receiving from a family member or a friend, it's almost like you knew it, but you needed reassurance that was true. And then it just makes your heart feel a little bit better because, maybe that's what it was,
Yeah.
And I think that's what helps me and makes me a success that I am. I mean, when I did this, I left the corporate world in an engineering department, and I hated the bureaucracy and the white suits and the pencil and 9 pencils in your pocket. Each one was sharpened differently, and you're all looking at them going, I can't do this anymore. And I worked for the man for 33 years, and I just said, boom, that was it. I couldn't do it anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, Kev,
go ahead.
This is exactly like how you feel. That's how I felt that day at Amsterdam Bicycle Club, like right before the show. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Jim. I mean, I did a lot of prep work just to, just research. I didn't want to come in this completely blind, and I've been thrown for a loop here. Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And it's never putting someone on the spot. It's giving someone an actual feeling of admiration and removing that doubt that we keep holding on to. And just say, we got to persevere and we got to move forward. We live in a world right now where everything is challenging and negative, no matter how we look at it. And I'm not someone who will always give the greatest advice. And I admit to that. But I will be someone that will be more positive in your life that will help you find what you're looking for. Spiritually. I am of no religious denomination either, because I don't believe in any of them. I just believe in our universe.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard for people to see that. But we're doing it. And I sit with you, Ernie, and your wit and your ability to feel and to do the things that you want to do your creativeness is like, I'll show you aura colors. This is your aura color.
Orange?
Orange.
Okay.
Yours as well. And the reason why is because there's always a figure of creative thought, something that you have to write down or something that you remember. Remember, both your minds are in a generous portion of memory retention. Don't think for 30 seconds you don't remember today, tomorrow, or the next day. You guys remember so much that you calculate it or you write it down to make it even better.
Right.
So that's how I work, and that's how I work with people who are stuck, and get rid of them. And get rid of that type of thing and enjoy yourselves. We're precious. You guys are too. It's just, you don't hear it. You get the little pat on the back when you come down on stage and great show. You made me laugh, or that feels good, but you should feel good when you get silence too, because it might've been provocative enough that people didn't get it, or it's over their heads, or the millennials are just going, nothing's funny. Sorry, I had to add that in.
No, we were just talking about that. How I watched Thor 4 in the theater, and like some people, me and my comedian friends, we were going crazy, And the guy beside me, he was like all quiet, and I'm like, "Come on, loosen up."
Enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah,
We're paying for something that's entertaining to us. And if you're going to just sit there with your, sitting on your hands, what's the use of that?
yeah.
You got to go out and enjoy.
Oh, Jim, I want to
Yeah.
to bring up something that you said at that night like 8
Sure.
years ago or whatever.
Okay. Yes.
You said the thing that spooked me was how you said that everyone has a guardian angel.
Yep.
And the thing that spooked me was my guardian angel is my dad's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you were telling me that same thing. You're telling me that how like he's really proud of you, but he just doesn't show it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
He didn't know how, and
Yeah.
she said that while he was living.
Yeah.
And you must have changed a way in talking to your dad after that.
Yeah.
You see? And that made a difference. He might not have changed, but he might have had and earned more respect for you.
Mm.
That's the bitch about us, right? Our old school family ways is just, there's a control.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to enjoy that. That's my son. He's got to work hard. He's got to make a living. He's got to save himself. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's enjoying yourself. Just, you're on the right track. You're in the right place. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Man. I gotta tell you, this is kind of surreal for me, only because like leading up to this, I was watching a few podcasts that you were on.
Oh yeah.
So I know that painting behind you was from a fellow psychic medium.
Artist. Yep.
Yeah, psychic artist. And just even watching Knock Knock Ghost. Right. And then here you are now. I know you don't really like talking about yourself, and I'm sure we'll come back to us.
You guys will win. Thanks, Kevin.
But I did want to, again, these are all questions that if ever I had the opportunity, I would love to ask. And so I hope you don't mind if we ask a few of them.
This is what I asked to be on your show because I believe in you guys. I love this concept. You guys have no clue. It's just, it's good. I'm learning from you when I start my own show.
Oh, that's a huge compliment. That's a huge compliment.
It's honest.
So you said you started experiencing ghosts at 5 years old. This is when you were playing with your GI Joes by the tree.
Yep.
And then the ghost came. You hit the GI Joes.
I had this GI Joe who was in a time. It was the official GI Joe with the space capsule, and you'd put them in, and you'd have this amazing toy. And I think my parents saved years for that toy for me, right? And 5 years old, I lost it at 4.5 because I couldn't find it, but I buried it in the sand, and I guess I got called for dinner and ran upstairs and going, I can't find it anywhere. I went down the following spring, so I was without my GI Joe for 4 months, and I was depressed. And I'm sitting at the sandbox because everyone's gone to school. I haven't yet. And I'm digging away and doing my thing. And then I see an old man kitty corner to me, just sitting there. I'm looking at him and I'm wondering, what the heck is this? Why are you here? It didn't talk, but just kept on pointing. So I had my little pail and shovel, blue, by the way, because you were a boy.
Yeah.
And I'm out there and I go to the far corner where he was pointing at. And I grabbed the shovel and I start digging, and lo and behold, I have the time capsule, the GI Joe, right there. I went to turn around to say in excitement, because I was just digging at this thing, to turn around. He was gone.
He's gone, eh?
To this day, I don't know who he was. If he was a neighbor in our neighborhood, I still think that he was the old man that passed away in a fire that was a block away, who loved kids. And he was his parents died, his sister died, and he was the last remaining family member, and he died in a fire. So I think it was him, but I don't know.
I guess a follow-up to that would be, at that age, I mean, this ability, this gift that you came across, how does one harness that at such a young age?
So at 5 years old, you're impressionable, obviously.
Right.
There is no age of reasoning until you're about 7 years old clinically. So what I was seeing wasn't my imaginary friend because it was friends. I was never harmed by anything in dark energy or light energy in the sense of being abused by a ghost, which is what everyone is. That's the horror of it all, right? That's what people put out there. That's what makes the money. I never had that until I got older. These were genteel ghosts. They were lost. Even at that time, knowing to send them to a light at 8 or 9 years old, saying, aren't you supposed to go through that light? Isn't that what you're supposed to see? And that's me at 8. No, going, I don't even know what that light is, but go there. So to harness it is to have your family believe in you. My family was weird. What family isn't? But mine is Native Canadian, but they were Native American in the sense of Aboriginal, coming from Boston and Nevada, and their Aboriginal title was Sioux. And my grandfather was Hungarian, and that was on my mom's side. And then on my father's side, it was Irish. So we had the Irish psychic, we had the native healer, and the Hungarian gypsy. So somebody was bound to get something out of this. So, and I never lost it. I was respected with what I was saying. My mom just said, "Oh, it's okay. Just be careful. Don't let them come into your room at night. You go to sleep and tell them you need to go to bed." And I did that. They never bothered me at night, and they let me sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
In today's age, I'll get woken up. I'll get a push or a whisper in the ear, even today, saying, "Pay attention. Where's my uncle?" And I'm going, "Where the F is your uncle? I have no clue where your uncle is. Please, leave me alone for 5 minutes. Knock on my business door at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm ready to go."
So how physically and emotionally, mentally demanding is that gift that you have?
You never want to be wrong, Kevin. The worst thing in the world is being wrong.
Right.
Or saying something that someone will look at you and just go, "You're off your rocker, you're this," and then 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the road, it actually happens. And then they're fumbling to call you saying, "You were an a-hole when you told me that, and I don't know why you told me that, but it actually happened, and now I want to come and talk to you and say thank you for that." Because I won't give them something negative and just say, "You know what, you're going to get hit by that GO train tomorrow." You know,
Right.
you don't want to tell them that. Pay attention.
Wait, Jim, I have a question. You know, when you said when you're a kid, you're saying you're telling the ghost to walk into the light.
Yeah.
What happens when they walk into the light?
I don't know.
So so when
I do and I don't, Ernie.
Yeah, are they gone? Are they?
Listen, you get no appreciation when you're seeing ghosts that are walking in a loop and they're doing the same thing over and over again when they get hit by a car and they're still in that corner, and you see them all the time just sitting there going through a loop over and over and over again. Where we used to live in Toronto, there was this corner on O'Connor and I don't even remember anymore. And this librarian, because I had to do a history on her, was in the corner all the time, and she was always running and getting hit by a car, and then you see her lying down on the ground, and you would see this over and over and over again, which in the spiritual standards is called a loop. So I tried to get her attention and say, "Hey, you're okay now. You've passed away. You moved on." She went right through me, didn't pay attention to me, and it was just this same thing over and over again. So I had to do my homework, and I had to ask some other fellow psychics and mediums, "What do I do about this?" And they said, "You need to draw her attention." So finding out her history, she got hit by a taxi, by the way, in a winter storm. Okay. So she died immediately. And so she was locked in that. That's the beginning of that. But we knew that she was a librarian that was someplace in Etobicoke, and she was taking the bus to go there. So she was always trying to cross the street to get to the bus. And never paying attention, I said to myself, what if I carry some books and I leave them in the intersection? She's going to see them, and I'll stop her for a second or two to say, why are books here? And it worked. She went, she saw these books, magazines that were on right on the middle of the intersection. People were thinking I was crazy then, by the way. Yeah. And the books were there, and she looked up, looked down, looked at the books, tried to pick the books up. I got her attention. And I just said, hey, you passed away. It's time for you to move. Go to the light. She actually literally saw the light, looked at it, went boom, off she went. Mm-hmm. I've never seen her in that corner again for the last 10 years. Now, you don't get thank yous for that. They don't come back and say, hey, thanks. They don't do that. You'll never see them again. Right?
So this might sound like a stupid question, but do ghosts know that they're dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on the level of their soul level. I go from 1 to 10 in soul levels. 10 is you're very spiritual. You're really not going to return back to earth, but you're here to help and assist me.
Okay.
Or to give you messages, Kevin, to give you messages, Ernie, or Jill, or whomever. Mm-hmm. They know that they've completed their life cycle, and they're going to move into a separate dimensional view or a higher plane than what we're living in. And the ones that don't know are the ones who've been shot and killed or in a car accident. And there's a lot of them that are still existing, wearing the 1920s clothing or 40s clothing, or they don't change their style. And people ask, why are they dressed? Why do they have clothes on? Because their appearance is what their strength is giving us their appearance. We don't have to ask that question. We just know that they've died and they need to get home or they need to get into the light. So a majority of them know that they're dead, and the others that don't are the troubled ones who tend to make something active in a home, or because they'll go right to their homes, or they'll go about their business. Even though they died somewhere else, they could go home and you'll feel their activity. You know, my dad for years, because I wasn't doing the job that I wanted to do, my father was a heavy duty smoker and I would smell cigarette smoke. He wouldn't show up because I told him to go away. Yeah. But he had cigarette smoke, and I knew when he had the cigarette smoke that I had to, slow it down, find out what I was doing. What would Norm, my father's name was Norm. I don't think I called him Dad very often. And Norm, what are you doing? Like, why are you here? Oh, that's what you would do. Okay. So you get these answers, or you're talking to yourself and they help you. And he knew he was dead for sure. But he came back to tell his son, hey, you're being an asshole. Why don't you go and fix that? You know? So wow. They're not always nice guys. They have a point to put across. They're blunt. They're honest. They're real. And sometimes the messages are misunderstood until something happens to give you a reminder. But the ghosts themselves know exactly what they're doing at all times. They're very cunning.
So do you think that we would see everybody when we die?
Yeah.
So we would recognize everyone.
Everyone.
So
they will give you the form of who they were to make you feel comfortable when you move into the light. When your time is ready, they will give you that feeling of peace and tranquility and everything's okay, and pull you in. There is no hell anymore, my friends. We live in hell.
Yeah, I think I remember I overheard you saying that on a podcast. Our perception of heaven up above and hell down below that's not the thing. It's right in front of us. We are in it.
Jesus, Kevin, you listen to a lot of my podcasts.
I tell you, I
was shocked.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I have 5 questions here. He has a bunch of notes.
I got tons.
Thank you for doing your homework, and that's what I mean about listening to your show. Do you get me now? You do that all the time, Kevin. You don't. It's just not off the top, fly off the handle. And then if Ernie's asking you to do this one day earlier, you must have told him to F off.
No, I basically, because of the level of magnitude of our first guest, I told my bosses basically to fuck off, because I'm still working.
He's still at work.
Jesus. We could have done this later, guys.
No. We couldn't wait.
I get
we couldn't wait.
Listen, I'm honored. Again, I'm humbled by this. This is like
no, because Sorry?
How many times have I asked you, say, get me on your show? I want to be on your show.
You asked me, a few times. Ever since last year, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because it's fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank
It
you.
really is. It really is. The
Kevin,
other question. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
You wanted to ask a question. Sorry.
Well, the question was because you did say before that you have a bit of an unconventional way, not the typical, Long Island medium.
God,
So I guess the question would be, what makes a good or a bad psychic medium?
oh, wow. The ones that take advantage of your heartstrings, that pull at them.
Right.
Like I know about Ernie's, and I thought, I'm saying this way too early to him, but it's also something that he needed to hear for closure.
For
So
sure.
I'm getting an answer at the same time of getting permission to do so.
Right.
A psychic, a good psychic, will not do it for their own glory or for the attention. I'm not doing it that way. And that's why I'm always stuck in a certain amount of limbo, because I won't sensationalize anything.
Yeah.
You're stuck with me. And this is the way it is. But I don't know. It's if you sit there and they would drag upon, oh man, like somebody who cut their thumb. I remember watching someone because I pay attention a lot, and this guy said, "Oh, you lost your finger by cutting something." Duh, and the guy says, "Oh, you must have been a butcher or something." And I'm getting there, and I had to stop. I said, "Dude, stop guessing." He was a plumber, and he got his finger sheared off with a pipe. The guy looks at me, starts crying, and the other psychic ran away. You get it? Because he's trying to prey on that guy.
Right.
And he'll find a way, because all of a sudden that guy will come out with emotion. I just said, listen, just go to the good guys. When someone comes up to you, really ask for their credentials, find out who they are. Listen, honestly, Kevin, there are more, not there, that's my French coming out. Let me change the English version of that. There are better intuitive psychic mediums than me who have not come out, who are afraid to come out, that can give us information to help us to be even more generous with their time. But because they were ridiculed and abused at a younger age, or told that that's the sign of the devil or this is bad, they keep to themselves, they keep confined. And I'm hoping that in what I bring is, I want to meet the better psychic. I want to meet the better medium. I want the answers as well as you two do. And I want them genuine. I don't want the sensationalism of it. I mean, I had my own TV show, as you said, Knock Knock Ghost. It was a lot of fun, but it's not where I wanted to go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to change. And they were good to me. They weren't horrible.
Yeah.
And Richard Ryder. I mean, a comedian, and he did his thing, and I was doing mine, but I couldn't do that anymore. But I thanked them for it, and they've moved on, and they have another psychic out there, and he's doing his thing. But I'm not sad that I left.
Right. And I think one of the things that you say too is that you're not afraid to speak up, and you're not afraid to say things, that might offend others, because it's not what you want to do. Because if it doesn't serve you, then why even do it?
Exactly. Someone will come up to me and says, "You're a fraud, you're a fake." I have a brother-in-law that does that to me, or did that to me, okay? And that's no word of a lie. A strong Catholic, a believer in the justice system, and blah, 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 and he neglected his own mother when she was dying. So for me, hypocrites.
Yeah.
Right.
You see? And I don't like that, and I don't care, but at least I believe.
Right.
And I'm not gonna make fun of you, whether you like me or not, because I put myself into this role. I'm here with you guys today, not that you might believe or make you a believer, but to enjoy or give me the questions that I can answer as truthfully as I can without an ego attached.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
It is. It is. It
That's
is.
why I'm not a millionaire, I guess.
If I could just kind of express what today, or right, like this last half hours felt like, it's just felt like it's like a whole new dimension that's been opened up that you just didn't see or didn't care to see before, and now it's kind of right in front of you. So
Wow. Thank you.
that's kind of where I'm feeling.
When are you going to be your own boss, Kevin?
You know what? That's what my wife is asking me all the time. Is I feel like I am always beholden to the corporate world, and I feel like a sense of loyalty to stay here, even though at the end of the day you're just a number.
Yes, we are, but don't minimize yourself like you just did. And that's what your wife is getting at, because she sees you minimizing yourself. She's the one who gives you that kick in the ass in a way that says to you, hey, you're better than that. Nobody else is going to tell you that because they don't live with you night and day.
Yeah.
But she's giving you that information not to give you your ego, but to force you to think about who you are as a human being. I'm reading you. I thought I've met you. Maybe I saw you when Ernie was there, but it's not the wholesome side of you. It's the realistic side of you. You don't like the bureaucracy, but you live with it, and you form your own foundation. And I don't know why you don't consult. I don't know what holds you back from knowing. You're at an age now where your worthiness and your understanding of the working man can change everything by the way that you look at things, and you stop yourself all the time, because it's fear of the God almighty dollar, as we know. Where am I going to get the next paycheck? How am I going to do this? It's going to be your attention to detail, like you do right now, that won't fail you, because you'll be able to give that to other people to teach them the same thing. That's what I know about you.
Well, I appreciate that insight, Jim. That's I mean, like you said before, sometimes it's one of those things where you kind of know it. Sometimes when you hear it from an outside perspective, it gives you a bit of a validation. Just to think like, you know what, maybe I don't need to think this way. Right.
And here's the life coaching 101, and you can give it to everybody. And this goes from anybody who's slicing bread at a baker or is working with the atomic bomb. Do an inventory on yourself over the last 10 years of what you've done and what you've placed in your life. And that could be anything from parenting to taking first aid, to taking skiing lessons, to doing certain things that build your character. And take a look at it and look at your inventory and just say, wow, I've done a lot, because you don't give yourself that credit. As a psychic medium, I take an inventory on everyone I talk to, and I'll remember, and I'll always go back to them 10 years from now and just say, geez, you built that sailboat. Is it done yet? Because you want to know what's going on. And what holds us back is our fears. And remember, you place those fears on yourself, not anybody else.
Right.
And that's what you're getting mad at, because this guy's looking at me. I should put some more clothes on. But what I teach people is to look at themselves and look at what you can do and build on it. It doesn't matter who we are. We have to be happy with what we're doing. And that's what makes us rich.
And that's funny that you say that, Jim. It's one of the things that I actually admire the most about Ernie is that the way that he's approached his career is not the most conventional. And like you said, that the way we grew up, your son's got to have a 9 to 5, work in the be a doctor or whatever it is. He pursued something like a dream of his. Whether it was good times, bad times, he stuck through it. Clearly, he's still here.
Yes.
And it may not be to the level of success of whatever mainstream media shows, Kevin Hart or whatever. But honestly, if I'm taking inventory just of the three of Ernie, he's probably one of the most successful guys I know, because he is doing what he loves, and and he's happy.
With a semi-smile on his face.
With a semi-smile on his face.
I'm holding back tears.
Okay. now say something nice about me now, Ernie.
Kevin has nice hair.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus, you make Elvis look bad.
Oh, you guys, come on.
It's taking care of ourselves first. And once
right.
you do that, everything moves forward. and it's always luck of the draw, and it's always our behavior and how we see things. I've been looking for another show. I've been offered a couple of shows that were really bad, but I'm in the middle of doing something that I'm just waiting for. When they drop I don't know what they call it anymore, a pilot, and they dropped it off to a network on Thursday. Now I'm patiently waiting, going, am I going to get this? Am I going to be okay? And here's the bitch about life. I'm a psychic medium who can't read himself. I'm so mad at me. So I am sitting in the same shoes as you. So understand the respect that I give you to, because you're waiting to see what is going to come out of my mouth, and you're going, shit, that might be true, that might not be. And I'm just waiting, going, am I going to get this show? Am I going to be good enough? Do they see me for who I am? I'm in the same boat.
Well, it really is a high compliment, Jim, and I hope I know I'm not going to try to take up too much of the time. It's just, Ernst, if you have a question, you just jump in. But I kind of wanted to step back to knock.
Yes, go ahead. I love
knock ghost. Knock ghost.
Yep.
I watched one of the episodes only because it was at the Scottish Rite at the Towers. And I used to live in Hamilton, so I remember on my way to work I would always see that. And ever since then, there was a bit of a curiosity about the Masons and everything like that. And I remember in the episode you said, I've been to a few Freemasons in the last year. I just find them more annoying than anything. Right?
The hate mail that I got from that one, right?
I can imagine, and I kind of wanted to get in on that because I can imagine maybe some Masons and maybe
some threats there. I'm not welcome back there again because of that.
Really?
Or any Masonic temple at all.
Now, what was how do you
find
get
out
in
my
there?
name? They just get out of here, leave.
How do you get into that place? Because I feel like, again, it's a secret society, but the fact that you guys were able to get in there.
It's because it was used as a movie house for a lot of different movies. They wanted to make some money, right? So when they heard that this international, world-renowned psychic is how they presented it, is going to walk in and help and see what's going on there, because people are having some strange things happening. They invited me, and it was good. It was like I saw the evil that was in there.
Yeah.
Which was very uncomfortable for me, because I've never thrown up on set before.
Yeah.
Never. And
you needed a couple of minutes.
I had to recover.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me, because I'm used to being attacked, but I'm very strong and I'm not afraid. That's my fear factor with the dead. I have none. I challenge them all the time, which pisses them off. But I was uncomfortable the whole time that it was there. It did not matter. I like
the approach that you take is, and again, and I hope this is not offensive, but to you, but I used to watch Ghost Hunters a lot with this Zach Bagans guy, and his approach is more like, I'm coming in there, guns a-blazing, kick the door down, ghost, scratch me, kill me, whatever you want to do. But I remember in a podcast that you were talking about, you were saying, would you talk that way to them in real life if they were living? No. So why would you talk to them when they're dead? Like
Thank
that.
You. And that's the truth. It's the KISS attitude. Keep it simple, silly. Like don't overdo it. Don't.
Yeah.
You can be passive aggressive, because sometimes you have to be to get their attention, because they really don't care about you. They can talk to anybody they want to. But it's also being polite about it. You say thank you. You don't say thank you if they're punching you or making you sick. You just say get the hell out of Dodge, because you're not welcome back in this one anymore.
Yeah.
But there's always a message that someone has to relay again. So you want to get those messages out to whomever, and you never know. Somebody will see that. It's amazing. And I am emotional when I do these things, because people are missing these people who haven't gone to the light, and they're lost and they've never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to the light, all of a sudden they go see Uncle Ernie and say, wow, I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's a good thing that I'm able to do that. And it's a reflection of releasing the spirits from the demonic or the dark energy, and show that energy, the what allegedly, just like humans, the live people do, we feel weak and vulnerable to someone who makes a little bit more money or is in control of our destiny. And if we
Right.
sneeze the wrong way, they're going to look at us and say, you have a penance to do. What I do is I go work with the dead and just say, you don't have to put up with that dark energy. I will block them from you. I will create a fire tonight. You go to that fire, you're going to be released, and you just go, because I'm going to keep every one of those dark a-holes away from you.
Right.
And I've done it. So many forts, I've just released the energy. It's
So
good.
you can help release the stranglehold that the demonic possession or that takes a
Yep.
hold of the spirit.
Absolutely.
But can you do anything about the demonic spirit itself?
Rarely.
Rarely.
And I don't know, when I watch a lot of the shows, and there's the one with the cop, she's very good at what she does. But even she needs help to remove the demonic or the danger. What I do is nullify their powers by making them look weak. Do they get mad at me? Sure they do. Have they been able to do anything to me? Rarely. And if they do, it's short-lived, and I know when there's something on me, and right away I call my demonologist, I call my friends, and I just say, hey, we're going to do a cleansing today. You know?
Okay, so that was actually my next follow-up question. Was that you mentioned that in your lifetime you've had three demonic attached to you.
Yes.
And I was curious as to the cleansing process that you speak of. Like, what does that entail?
So weirdly, I know this is going to sound weird, because I just said at the beginning of the show, I'm of no religious faith. I believe in the universe.
Right.
But I will be protected by a priest. And now I'll sit there. I believe in his powers of what he's able to do, because you have to understand, we have a belief system, dead or alive, that there's heaven and hell still, good and evil, and the priest is good, the demonic is evil, and the priest is going to rid them of that. So the priest did his job and removed that entity from me that stuck with me for a year.
Wow.
A year.
A year.
A year. And it really put me in a place where I wasn't happy. It made me severely depressed instead of just the typical depression that we go to. Nothing was working. I was going through a divorce then. I was unhappy. I was getting all of these little things. And I thought, oh, it's just because of that. But it weighed heavy on me because I couldn't make good decisions. And then all of a sudden, I met a demonic spiritualist who lived in Barrie. They're witches. They both passed away. And they looked at me, because they were 80 at the time. And they just said, well, you've got that dark fellow around you. How do you feel about that? In a British accent, I'm going, he is still there? They said, yes. So let's go see Father Kevin in their, I don't know if you know what a Citroën is car. It's a car that was from France, and it was, the front end would raise because it was built in the 70s, and they were still driving it. You'll have to look it up. Anyway, in their car in the back seat, go see Father Kevin. 15 minutes later, the thing is gone. Just like that.
Just like that.
Because he knew what he was looking for. He found it. He felt it. He removed it. And it was gone. But understand one thing, and this is where you try and explain to people some fears that we go through. Every demonic has a file on us. And every demonic knows our weaknesses.
Right.
They don't understand our strengths because they're not given permission. They're looking for our weaknesses. They don't give a shit about how strong we are.
Right.
So they find a way to get into your weakness. And if they do, it compounds itself. And that's what they do. And that's how they get a hold of you. Or if you're possessed or something to that effect, or controlled by them in their environment, is because they know your weakness. Now, they hate me because I have no fear of the dead. On any level.
With those like the ghost hunters and stuff and things like that, it's obviously you like to watch it, but regular Joes will probably try to do things like that and go into places and try to speak to people. What kind of dangers are they opening themselves up to?
If they only knew.
Right.
And here's the thing, some of them could be so primitive to this that they have an attachment like I did, and all of a sudden their life turns and spins around into nothing, and they've lost their loved ones or their friendships because they can do these things. They have
Hmm.
the way to manipulate your path, and sometimes they don't know it. Then all of a sudden they're seen by someone like me, and I'm looking at them going, whoa, like just like the witches did to me. You have that dark thing on you. I'll see a crap load of darkness on somebody who goes, I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm going, holy Jesus, really? Have you seen anything? Not really. I might have had a knock. Well, that's because they're all attached to you, buddy.
That's why you haven't seen it. Just that your world around you is falling apart.
Yep. And they don't get it because they're controlled that way. That's the environment that they live in.
Man, I
That's
mean that
my side of
world.
the world. It's
Yeah,
nuts. It is nuts. But we
and
do what we do.
I think TV makes it. They said they Hollywood it up and they sensationalize it and make it seem like it's a cool thing. Really, it's a tough gift and ability to have.
Just and to stay sane with it and
Right,
to be respected by people.
right.
Uh, until I had that TV show, I was absolutely ridiculed, made fun of, and I kept my mouth shut because of what I did. I did, and but I knew that my turn was coming because my guides were telling me, you have this opportunity. This is going to work for you. This is going to not give you fame, but it's going to give you the respect that you've been looking for. And that's what I got because I'm a very good intuitive life coach. I'm a very good psychic, and I'm a good medium because I see the dead, I feel the dead, and I talk to the dead. And you can't take that away from someone.
Right.
Whether you believe me or not, I'm okay with it. But I know that I'm using my talent to be able to work on that. If you, for instance, the Knock Knock Ghost, I wanted the bloopers on. And we have bloopers at the end of every
I
show.
do, yeah. I seen those, yeah.
Okay. Now, I wanted those on there. And they did it. The producer did it. And it was amazing because the one like Bree and Richard and the staff and the film guys, getting their hair pulled, and you hear a scream in the background, but it's the cameraman. So those kind of things are funny,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get me out of here. And I'm going, why? Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. But they made the show
Right.
because it was fun, right? And we had because there was a take. We were at a fort in Fort Erie, and I had to do 10 takes with this piece of bread to act like a sword. Richard was so mad at me because it's taken 10 takes. And I'm going, I'm not an actor. Because I would forget a line. The only line I had, I don't know. Here's my French bread. I don't know. And I couldn't do it. But I was breaking up because I was having so much fun trying to do it.
And I was telling Ernie that the dynamic was good because it was, it was light in the beginning. Richard added like the comedic value to it.
Yep.
There was the knowledge aspect, the history, and then then the ominous music plays when it's I think that's cue in Jim. But all in all, it's one of those shows that it gets you right from the get go. You kind of feel like it. You almost feel like you're there with you guys, with friends.
And that's what I wanted too, and that's what they were trying to do, and it was fun to do. Like I said, those 2 years that I did was great. I just wanted to do some different things that would explain what a psychic medium does and how we can heal and how we can release.
Yeah,
we were going in there to still scare the audience and have fun with it. And that's why I said, with all due respect, that was great, and that's what was fun. And hopefully, down the road, I'll be able to do it more. Even on my Instagrams, I will always be very upfront and straight with people. Like, I'll go out live, and just someone will give me their birth date, and I will have someone come in and tune in to me to give them answers. I don't even know who they are, obviously. So it's fun.
Right. Man. Oh, I've only got a couple questions. Ernst, like I said, you got something, jump in.
No, I'm
But
good. No, you have a lot of questions, so
yeah, the earlier, Jim, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I don't want to take up too much of Jim's time. I know
Yeah,
you
we're-
probably have dinner
That's
coming
up
up.
to you. No, listen. Unless you have to do something else, I'm good. Finish whatever stages you have to do. Again, it's good to inform people, and then if you have to get on to something else, please do. But you're not hurting my feelings if you sign off or you want to continue. I'm good. I'll let you know when I'm like, hey, can you leave me the fuck alone and let me go on?
Well, I've got two more. One
Okay.
of them is earlier we talked about the auras, Ernie's and myself. It was orange. What are there a lot of different colors, and like what are their meanings, kind of thing?
Well, think of a rainbow, really.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we see. Now, I've seen that since childhood. And I explain on so many podcasts that my daughter sees aura colors. She saw it on Christmas Day at the age of 3, saying, Mom, Dad, how come your fingers have rainbows on them? So she was able to see the different colors around us. So that to me was, whoa, I better start writing a book and get this going so that she understands. But we all have that ability if we just tuned out and get comfortable with it. The orange is always an expressive color of creativity. And watching Jill through the circuit over almost 10 years, watching all the comics come up with this orange glow and this attitude of, I'm going to do this nervous tension that they have, but it's like, it makes them so happy to be nervous. It's so weird. And you watch them do this, and then they finish their set and they're going, I'm glad it's over. But they want to do it right away. Like 2 minutes later, they go, where's the next gig? I got to go 15 minutes and I'm going to go to another gig and do this all over again. That's like, what the hell? But you see that energy and you see those auras, and you can see it in a workplace where, oh, there's a creative, there's someone who's a sourpuss, or there's a Debbie Downer over there. I'm not going to be talking to him at lunch. And, you find different ways of communicating with people because of their aura colors. So it denotes, I never like to see gray or black on anyone because that's not a healthy color. Okay. But I can't always confirm what it is. When I get gray and black up here, I know it's depression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I see black here, it's the failure to communicate or abuse. So I learned these things only in time.
Right.
When I see blue, I'm knowing, oh, wow, this guy's really going to be going somewhere, and because they're very communicative and they want to share their ideas and work. And there's only a tinge of orange around them because they don't feel confident enough to do something.
Gotcha.
So
Wow.
you get to break them down quite a bit. Red, everyone thinks that that's love and passion. And red, for me, when I see it, is stay away from that person as much as possible because that person is going to drag you down to the ground.
Wow.
But these colors can change, right?
They can change. They change all the time. I've watched your auras on both of you. When I was talking about you, Kevin, boom, it changes and it's protective right away. It becomes like, and Ernie, you're sort of used to me in a way. So you're just going, what's she going to say about me now? And so you're more calm, but it's how we present ourselves. And it's important when you see these colors that they work, and you can always tell somebody because, again, other things are past lives, who you were. You can have someone there that's like a pharaoh from Egypt, and why is he around you? I don't know, and then you have to figure out why they're protecting you. And people ask, do the same spirits stay with us for the rest of our lives? No. When we change, our spiritual guides change because we're growing. The only time that they stay with you is when you stay stagnant and you stay in the same position or the same thing for the rest of your life. Someone who's worked at the same job for 40 years, good on you, but you've never changed. You don't know anything else.
You mentioned past lives, and I listened to a previous podcast, and you talk about, I was wondering if you could go into a little bit of detail of contracts and jackets in past lives and how they affect us
Jesus. Where'd you find him, Ernie?
I have no idea.
I tell you, if I'm interested, I'm going all in. I'm going all in.
Jim, he hasn't prepared this much in
I-
the year and a half that we've been doing this.
No,
Oh, come on.
He's never written notes.
I love it. Okay. So contracts are weird. When I listen to other psychics, and I'm not putting them down, but you have to think about what they're saying. You have a twin flame or a soulmate. Okay? A lot of that has been said by a lot of psychics. Oh, you married your soulmate, and then 10 years later they get a divorce. You know? Because there was a contract on them that you realized that you needed to get rid of. Or a jacket that you're wearing and holding on to because you took on their persona. So I was working with someone who was helping me and teaching me how to remove these jackets, which are contracts, spiritual contracts. And I had 112 contracts. And I'm going, are you serious? Like, are these people that are living? And they said, yes. And she says, I can't remove them all because I don't know them. But when you see them, you'll feel your knowledge. Like you have to break that cycle or whatever it is. She got rid of about 90 of them about 2 years ago. I've gotten rid of about 8 more. I still have a few more to go. But the 8 are family close to me. I got rid of the contract with Jill. I got rid of the contract with my Amelia, my daughter, my 5-year-old. I don't want the responsibility of taking care of them or them taking care of me in the next life. That's not what we're here for. But we feel like we have to come back and recuperate what we lost, or things were taken away from us, so we want to come back and do it again. No, you don't want to do that. You just want to say, I tried, it didn't work. Let me move on to the next soul life and bring myself up higher and meet new people and grow. So most of us have way too many contracts, and that's what we're trying to teach, is we need to get rid of them or to let go of things. Because you can say to an ex-friend that you got along with for years, and then all of a sudden they wanted to go their separate way, and you're mad at them because you don't understand why they left. It's because they involuntarily got rid of that contract with you because there was something that was about us that they remembered from a past life, that no matter how kind we were to them or how good we were to them, they felt that we weren't good enough or nice enough, and they let us go. But they didn't know that they were letting go of a contract. What I teach people is ask yourself that question. Why aren't you talking to them anymore? How did that make you feel? Are these childhood triggers that associate something that is making you unhappy? And in the spirit world, that's everything that I ask is, why are you holding on to this? Why are you doing that? And I'm looking at myself going, I got to leave this job because I can't do this anymore. I'm suffocating. As soon as I left my job, what a relief, because I must have had like 20 contracts alone with the people that I was working with. And I never had to look back. And it's not avoiding people. It's just saying, I'm not a part of that system anymore. So the contracts are, you're releasing whatever you did with them in the past. So it sounds complicated, but it's easy.
Yeah. No, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Like if you're going to go over and over again and become OCD, it's because you had to be perfect for that person that you're living with and not for yourself, but you didn't want to make mistakes for someone that you loved. When you actually should have said, I am OCD, you got to love me for who I am. Crazy.
You end up being like that librarian who keeps getting run over by the bus over and over and over.
Yep.
Right. Gotcha.
Wow.
Fun.
I said there was 2. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you have a second part?
The last part of the question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Totally unrelated. You know, you're a barbecue and a rye guy. Where's the best barbecue you've ever had?
Oh my God. In San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas.
Texas, sorry. I haven't seen a good Canadian barbecue, but I hear there's one in Newmarket somewhere. So I'm going to check that out. And as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. We'll go for a barbecue.
Perfect. Sounds good.
This place was old farm siding, like the tin siding that was ribbed. Okay.
Yeah.
Refrigeration was an old trailer converted into a refrigerator, and he would be a system for everyone. And the ribs, when you picked them up, were falling off the bone before they got onto your plate. And it wasn't a sugary sauce. I'm hungry now. But it was delicious. And they put everything together. They made a corn mash and a cornmeal and a coleslaw like you've never tasted before. And it came with nothing less than 12-year-old Scotch and back. And in the United States, it's cheap. It's not that bad. So they were charging you $5 a shot for 12-year-old whiskey. And I'm going, bring it on.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
So that was one of the best places I've ever been. And I love food. I'm a foodie.
Aren't we all?
Yep. So thank you, guys. I do appreciate this. Ernie, have you got anything to ask me, or am I the strangest guest that you've had?
You're the only guest.
You are.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Thank you.
You are our best guest.
Yes.
With the best hair, almost as good as Kevin's hair.
No, better.
No, Kevin wins.
it's a wig, actually. But Jim, I have one final question, because because our family's still like reeling about like what happened to like my dad and stuff, and like I see my mom all the time, and like I just want to know, like, where do you know where is my dad?
Sits at the kitchen table towards the back door.
What?
You're asking? I just told you.
Holy shit!
In where is he?
In your kitchen, your mom's kitchen, towards the back door.
He's what was he doing there?
Watching you, worrying about you, because he can't believe that you're pining over him now when he was a pain in the ass when he was alive. He said.
But he's okay.
That's his words. He went directly to the light. He saw your grandmother. He saw his mom. His mom sang to him like he was a child. He got the hugs. And he's bringing that energy back to your family. Ernie, if you ever want me to meet your family and come there and give you some sort of peace, I would be honored to. But it's still a transition of mourning here, you know? But let your parents know from me. Let your mom know that your father loved her. He annoyed her. But he loved her because there was nobody else that would give him the care and the love that all of his children received from your mom. So he's always there watching, because the kitchen was the focal point of your mom's day.
Yeah, that's right.
So he smells the cooking. He opens the closet door and never closes it, something like that, or the cupboard. He sits there and he's bewildered by the pain that everyone's going through. He did not think that he was that special.
Yeah.
But he respects all of you. He does. You make me cry, for Christ's sake. It's just, Ernie, listen, it's hard for the dead to communicate when they want to communicate. And it was very hard for your dad to come to me when I saw you, because immediately I thought of you. And we end up being this beacon to the spirit world, saying, I'm going to attach myself to Jim so I can give my son a message.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw all his grandchildren, and the youngest one of all of them that he never expected to see came to fruition for him.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, man.
No, thank you.
Ernst,
I told my mom last night. I was like, I'm gonna see. I have Jim on the podcast. He's a psychic, and I think she's a little skeptical, but
she's allowed to be.
Yeah, but I gotta show her this video.
Ernie, can you describe the feeling?
Oh man, it's just like I can't. This is like, because I can picture him there, because like he was always about the family dinner and stuff like that. So
yeah,
you know,
does it bring closure? Does it make you feel any validation?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because like a lot of those things like he never really like expressed.
Right.
He didn't know how.
Yeah.
So it's always an honor for me to give that information because they couldn't do it themselves, and they use me as the conduit to say certain things to make them happy.
Wow.
Your father follows your mom to her bed, gives her a kiss, and then moves directly into the light every night because your mom needs her peace.
Oh, so they can come back from the light.
Oh, dude, they do all the time. My mother wrings my neck every time I'm being a dick. I'm always in trouble. I'll get a red ear, and Jill will say, "What did you say on this podcast?" Because my ear will be full blown red. I'm telling too many truths. You know, this is.
I love it.
This is what I love. I love doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an honor to be the first guest on your show, guys. I can't believe this, and then to do something as emotional as this has been, and personal to the both of you. It's like you don't understand the respect that I give to both of you for allowing me to be able to do this.
That's likewise,
you really
Jim.
have to understand. I don't get these opportunities very often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always having to prove myself. Here we were just talking as if we were having a beer at the corner pub.
Yeah.
And enjoying ourselves and not even thinking about it, just enjoying. So this was an honor. Again, I want to thank you both. Kevin, Ernie, Jilly's going to get back out on the circuit. I got to get her writing more again and put her out there, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I see that you didn't promote it enough. You're doing the Asian comedy show.
Oh yeah, it's this Friday. That's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
White people allowed?
just you, Jim. I told you, just Jim. It's all Asian names. It's all Asian names and Jim Hunt.
If there are tickets still, let me know. And maybe I can talk Jill. I can talk our nanny into taking care of the baby, and we'll come out and watch.
Where are you now? You're in North York?
We're at Richmond Hill. With all the whole Asian community, I'm a minority here, dude.
Hey, I have a show next Saturday in
where?
Esna Park.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, right there. It's like I think it's right by you.
I know where Esna Park is. It's. What are you doing there?
It's at the Yes Cafe. There's a show. It's called the Bubble Tea Comedy Show.
Cool.
Yeah. Come to that.
Okay, I'll come to that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
and then I'll invite you to my mom's house.
Okay.
She'll love it.
She'll want to punch me just because she wanted to punch your dad for leaving so quickly. Guys, I hope this was informative, and I hope I
great.
Again,
yes.
I enjoyed
Yes.
this. And let me
As did
know when
we,
the
Jim.
show's on so I can share it with my crew, because I have my followers who would like nothing more than to listen to this and probably find out all about you two.
I appreciate that, Jim. You got a new fan and a new friend over here.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I do appreciate that. Ernie, thank you.
Oh, buddy, thank you, Jim. And you can follow him at on Instagram. Was it at Jim Hunt?
Everything is Jim Hunt Official.
Jim Hunt
everything.
Official.
My
JimHuntOfficial.com.
website,
Yes.
Yep. My Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter. It's really cool. And you can book me on there. You only have two choices, a 30-minute or a 50-minute, and life coaching, of course. And allegedly, I'm the cheapest life coach in North America, so that's kind of cool. Not about the money. Somehow it isn't, and it pisses me off that it's that way. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much.
Peace,
Bye,
brothers.
guys. Yes.
Okay, take care.
Bye, Jim.
Bye, guys.
That was amazing. That was absolutely enlightening.
Oh my gosh, that was very powerful.
I hope I didn't hijack that from you. I saw how emotional it made you, rightfully so. So to give you some time to process. And also
Oh no, I know. I understand that you had a lot of.
I tell you,
questions.
man, like it's like a fascination of mine. Even like the whole ghost hunting thing, and just like I said, it's kind of surreal because you watch him. He's been on numerous podcasts. You see him on TV, and then there he is on ours.
Yeah. No, because ever since I met him like the first time I talked to him at that show, about like the about spirits and guardian angels and stuff. But so every time I saw him every time I knew that his wife was on a show,
Yeah.
I would get excited like that. And be like, oh my god, what happens when this happens? You know? So
I hope I didn't come off too fangirly. I'm really
no, that's
I'm like
fine,
a fan of like just even him. He's got like a calming nature.
Yeah, really nice guy. Yeah.
But going back after hearing all that stuff, that's got to hit you pretty heavy, man.
Oh my god, I started breaking down. I was like
I saw it. Like as soon as he said like sits at the kitchen table and like towards the back door, I just saw your face and I was just like, you're like, what? It was almost as if like, what's happening here? Like it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah. That was even from like the beginning when he first said that your dad finally gets you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god.
Which I think is probably, if not the number one thing that we've always had, like we've always made jokes about is like your dad, not fully understanding, why it is you do what you do. And even that one time where he, you felt so good because he bigged you up in front of all his friends. I think it's the time where you had a billboard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So, so I can't imagine what that feels like, but I can imagine it feels pretty good.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can't wait to show it to my mom.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
What do you think the reaction's going to be?
I don't know. I don't know if she'll, she's very, super Catholic.
Church. Yeah.
So even then she was just like, I was like, yeah, my friend, he's on the show tomorrow. He's a psychic medium. He sees ghosts. And she was like, okay. She's like, all right, sure.
I didn't want to go too much more because I know that I was going crazy, but there were like a couple of people that I had asked. I'm like, hey, on the podcast today, we got our first guest. He's a psychic medium. You have any like listener questions? But a lot of people it might have been just too much for one sitting. I'm sure Jim will be back.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have him back. Great guest. I asked him 2 questions. That was it.
That being given, I mean, he kind of gave you the thing about last night. And if I were you, I wouldn't really be focusing on anything. I want to know what,
Yeah.
those 2, 3, 4, 5 questions that you asked are probably, they kind of change your life. My questions are more about my curiosity. This is more like your questions were, where your dad is. And,
where's my dad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
I was, I'm happy that he actually knew, like, you know what I mean? Because imagine he didn't know. He's like, I don't know.
How the fuck should I know?
He's your dad. Jeez.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome to hear. And like I said, I think it makes me happy that, you have this somewhat closure. I mean, I don't know if you ever get closure when losing a parent, but yeah.
No, for sure. It was for sure it was closure because, because we always go through life, like, trying to impress our fathers,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then to know that, they finally like get it.
Yeah.
Like they finally see it, it means a lot.
I think it means more than what you're letting on. I'm sure like afterwards, like, I feel like you want to kind of jump and shout kind of sort of thing. Like,
yeah, this feels weird because we're still recording, but yeah, we'll see what happens when I
recording stop. Hey, is it good to
Oh my god. What?
Joke's on you. Still recording.
What happened? Imagine I'm like, where's my dad? He's like, behind you. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. In my head, I'm like, please God, don't stay behind. Don't stay behind.
Oh my god.
What I wanted to ask was like, I wanted to be like, hey, do I have a guardian angel? And then if he was me like, yeah, I would be like, Like, are they with me like all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I do some naughty things. Do they see that, or do they choose to go back? Like, oh, he's watching dirty movies again. Let's go back to the light.
Yeah, no, I was writing a bit about that, but like that was the bit that I was talking about when I first met him, about like how my grandma is my guardian angel,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, even when I touch myself, and I can picture myself just being like, don't you have anything better to look at? Do you mind? It's gonna be like 2 minutes here.
Oh man.
No, but
Great.
did you know your dad's dad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I did. So what he said resonates. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, because I thought your dad's dad was your guardian angel. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into it. I just wasn't sure, right? And there's a part of me that also didn't want to find out, only because I'm in the building alone sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, I'm not alone.
All right. Well, this has been a jam-packed episode. This is I think this is the longest episode.
I think we hit we're close to an hour, and I think we hit about an hour. And
well, we did an hour plus with Jim.
Yeah.
And then plus we started early and
that's right. Yeah.
So, oh my God. Wow. Well, thank you to our listeners and maybe our new listeners.
Hopefully.
Jim's friends. So thank you for listening to us and watching us be changed on screen. We're
Yeah. I'm about to quit my job right now. Screw yourself.
Yeah. I'm about to go back into accounting. Until no, but then he said no. He gets it. He gets it.
He gets it. You don't need to go back to it.
I was like, all right. Oh, I can still do this.
He gets it.
Thank God. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys again next week. Maybe with a guest, maybe not, but we'll see.
We'll see. Toodles.